As a kid, I always looked up to my Aunt Rena. She wasn't famous, she wasn't in good health, but she had a way of making people feel special. She was soft-spoken with a laugh that made you feel like everything was going to be okay. But her real magic was in her garden. Every year, she'd invite the neighborhood kids over to come and plant flowers with her. "This one's for those who are kind," she'd say to a 2-year-old as she gave her a marigold. "And this one's for those with courage," she'd say to me as she pressed a daisy into my hand. Now, one year, there came this kid named Michael. He was quieter than the rest of us, and don't tell anyone I'm saying this, but a tad bit bigger too. My cousins told me that he often skipped school. But Aunt Rena didn't ask any questions. She simply handed him a trowel and said, "Let us plant something that blooms in the dark." Together they planted moonflowers. Now last year I became president of my city's youth council, the very same city where I grew up planting those very same flowers, and guess who my youth mentor was? It was that same Michael. I'd seen him after a long time, and when he came to me, he said, "Your aunt changed my life." She didn't ask any questions. She just gave me room to grow. I got nostalgic flashbacks to all those afternoons in the garden, the laughter, the sights, the sounds. Aunt Rena never made any grand gestures. She just made simple choices, the important ones. And those choices became seeds, seeds that bloomed into transformed lives. We make decisions every day, from ordinary to life-changing. Whether it's choosing what clothes to wear, replying to a message, speaking or not speaking at all, our lives are filled with minute decisions. And many of them occur unconsciously. These selections create waves within our lives, and they determine our futures. We often focus on the major turning points in our lives, but it is the small decisions that truly alter our paths. So let me ask you this. What if the smallest decision that you made today is the one that changed everything? An angry text sent in a flash of fury, one missed goodbye, one mindless scroll through your phone instead of a "I am proud of you." Tiny choices, barely noticeable, can snowball into heartbreak, distance, and regret. But the opposite is also true. An act of bravery, a note saying, "Hey, I miss you," or saying yes to something that scared you initially. These choices can also turn into hope and success that you can't even anticipate. By discovering the value of those things that have meaning to us, perhaps it is kindness, perhaps it is integrity, perhaps it is the value of justice that we can then harness into creating the life that we wish to live. Ask yourself this. Does this choice serve me well and serve others well with kindness? That simple question can guide us towards a life with tons of purpose and fulfillment. This is the butterfly effect. It's one such concept that describes how small actions can have huge effects in the world of chaos theories. It was developed by a meteorologist, believe it or not. His name was Edward Lorenz, which doesn't really make sense until you understand the fact that even the wing beat of a butterfly can generate a tornado on the other side of the world. No one can foresee the consequences of their actions. Life is unpredictable. It's a little too unpredictable. And it's this very unpredictability that makes life so intricately beautiful. The way that our choices intertwine with unfolding events can be humbling, of course, but at the same time, truly fascinating. Every choice that we make, whether large or minuscule, may start a chain reaction of events. So you see that the butterfly effect is not just science, it's personal. It's about relationships, and it affects generations to come. Our choices have the power to change tomorrow. For example, if you decide not to study for an important exam because, well, it's not a big deal right now, that decision could lead to a failing grade in the future that might affect your chances of getting into your dream college. Imagine a confrontation with your boss when you're mad at them. Think of the implications of that small act. Certainly, small acts always have large implications because there are no small decisions in the long run. So if I were to give you two choices to pick from. Let's say the first one is to improve yourself just 1% every day for the next 5 years, and the second one is to win a Powerball jackpot. What would you do? Many of us think, man, I don't want to wait that long. Give me my money right now. But chances are, if you choose to take the money, you might be broke again in the next 10 years. But if you improve yourself, even if it's just a minuscule amount, for a long period of time, you will generate the kind of mindset that makes mega millions anyway. It is presumed that the major events in our lives are the important ones, like getting a dream job, winning the lottery, or an instant success through social media. However, real change doesn't come from this. It comes from the quiet and unwavering decisions that we make every day. Shortcuts don't build character. They don't teach resilience. And they don't sustain success when it finally arrives. Small efforts may not seem like much, but just like coins in a jar, they can accumulate into big change over time. So let me bring you to one of my favorite people. Raise your hand if you've heard of Oprah Winfrey. Awesome, wonderful. This woman grew up in poverty in rural Mississippi. She had a difficult and adverse start to life, but she didn't let her circumstances define her. She changed her life, and in turn the lives of so many people in numerous ways. She uplifted millions and proved that one person's actions can indeed change the world. But the power of cause and effect doesn't just stop with celebrities and world leaders. No. It goes on to affect everyday people who make extraordinary decisions every day. We think that our choices don't matter because nobody sees them. But we see them. And these choices create a pattern, one that truly shapes who we are. Your decisions don't stop with you. They go on to affect everybody around you and so many more people. Campaigns like Me Too, Fridays for Future, Black Lives Matter, they didn't start in one day. They began with one individual who decided to speak out, decided to march with others, decided to raise their voice. An individual who decided to act, not because they could sense a tornado brewing in the distance, but because they wanted to let the butterfly fly. Kindness, honesty, presence, and courage. All these things spread. Let us make informed decisions. Let us choose compassionately. Let us make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to be powerful. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to begin a movement or change the world overnight. All you've got to do is flutter your wings. Thank you.